There is hope for Ghana after all. I mean, Atiwa East District Assembly, I believe, has found a way to deal with mining. The DCE of Atiwa East District Assembly, Honorable Ernest Owusu in team, called on journalists from TV Africa, GH1, and Joy News, plus myself, as you know, to witness a remarkable recovery of our lands. According to the chief, he and his community had to draw a policy that he calls community-based approach. And through this policy, he makes sure that every miner is identified and a percentage of his proceeds from his activities on their lands is taken into the community's coffers, where in case you are done with your work and you try to run away, those proceeds can be used to reclaim the land.
That will actually supervise the activity that will go on in our town here. So we will have a plan, and that's a plan that I'm also using as a executive. We develop a policy called community-based approach. So we identify the miners. We're having the coordinates of where they are mining. So the term that our region minister use profiling, we're having all the details of all the miners, and then their mining site and other stuff. So that is actually the plan. The team will also have the task force. The community was having a task force, and they will visit the sites often. Every week, every day, we'll be there. And so when they will detect that you are leaving behind a lot of pits, they will ask you to go back and just clean before you continue. So you can see, we have just moved on almost about 200 acres of land that have been cleaned. And then we also realize that our water body is still intact. You see, they have mined around all the river and for it, but still the same. So this is a community-based approach. That's the plan. That's how the miners cooperate with this plan. They want to work. So they want to work, so it should be a win-win situation. You see that these are rules, this is what we want to do. You leave it or you take it. So they are doing, and normally most of these miners, people normally just talk about cooperation and all of us we are asking, but basically it's about approach. It's about for them to know that indeed they have to do it. They have to do it because it's part of the work that you are doing. You can't just come and just take the gold and make them act like that. So they are doing what they are cooperating, and that's what we talk about supervision. But here there's proper supervision. You know, when people are having proper supervisors, they end up doing well in terms of any work that they are doing.
Okay, so we believe this approach is better than the one that the government normally, fighting things.
Yes, we have tried that approach over and over. Since mining started in this country, or alluvial mining started, it has been the same approach. And then you realize that the same approach will always be proposed by the civil society organization. And I think the time has come that they have to analyze it well and see whether it's working or not. Because the soldiers, they normally come, they stay like 2 weeks, they will go back. And we have about thousands of mining sites. And even if we decide to give a mining site to a soldier, I don't think we'll be able to even meet that standard. So the best is that we have to let the community people know that this is your land. Help the government to solve the problem. So over here, the town four people get to know that this is our land. So here we have reclamation. We have been done without the supervision of a soldier, without the supervision of the police. But we got to know that this is our land. We live in there. We know the miners. So basically, if you're in a certain town, you tell me that you don't know where the miners are mining, then it means that you are not being truthful to yourself. So the soldiers and that kind of approach of the military is not work out. workable approach or the workable solution to this problem is a community-based approach. And that one, the district chief executive become the supervisor at the top of that program that we are going to design. The assembly lieutenant and the assembly members are also there. The youth committee members are there, and the assembly needs to also get a permanent task force that they will go. Because basically you have a few towns under you, so they could use a week to move to all the sites within the district. Every week, as a district executive, you review the reports that they will give it to you. Based on that, you decide on action that you have to take. Sometimes, when I became the district executive, sometimes even at dawn, I'll call the assembly members and ask, this place, I've told mine as well, what is the reclamation level? I've told somebody I've gone close to the river. Go there and check the reports. Then the moment they bring the reports to me, I ask them to bring the money to me. I talk to them, please go back and do this. So about 3 days time or 4 days time, we are coming back to check. By the time we go, we have already done because we can't lose the work. They want to get the money. So we should also supervise them for us to get our land and our river money.
Okay. And when we notice the river here,
Yes.
it has not been destroyed.
Yes.
As we've seen in other places. How do you manage to ensure that the rivers, yes,
all boils down to supervision. Before they started this one, there was a proper agreement. Let me say in fact, the team that came here was led by the General Secretary of the Small Scale Miners Association. So we were able to single-handedly, I drafted the policy. That's this community days ago. So before they started even the work, there was an agreement between us and them that the river bears the town's name. So the moment the river is destroyed, Tamfua resisted this mining activity for so many years, all because of our river and because of the way people have been treating the lands. But we told them that this is how we want it to be. So everything was managed by the team, and this is the best approach.
Let me find out, is it expensive to resort to this approach?
No.
Because some of the miners, when you ask them, they tell you reclamation is expensive. You have to involve so much money.
This approach is the cheapest for government. It's the cheapest. No, that's why I don't see why someone will buy and government of Ghana have to go for loan and clean the land. You can identify the people. Even those who have mined for so many years until I left the place. All the district executive could be taxed to do what is called as minister said profiling, or we could also do what we can audit the land. At least about 80% of them we can easily identify them. And maybe government could publish their name to ask them to go back. I did one only yesterday. The community wrote to me officially because they came today. I told them that they should identify people who have mined, they have left the place like that without COVID. They wrote to me yesterday at dawn. I called all the about 4 miners. I called them that I did their office. They came and I tasked them that this is a report I received from the community about 2 years ago. We wanted to do ABC. Go back. It's asked me to give them 2 months, 2 years. And I told them that if they refuse, if worst come to worst, I will write a proper letter on it and I'll send to the land minister for the case to become something that he himself will not even imagine. So this approach is the best approach, and it's the cheapest for government. And the miners, they can do it. But just that, one is reclamation is just like taking tax from citizens. Even when they have the money in abundance, it's very difficult for them to pay because they are getting money. And some are getting money to the extent that they are even using on things out to me. I think that is of no use. Okay, but just that because there's no supervision, they think that they could just do it and just go there. Because when they are conscious that if you mine is not reclaimed, you are going to face the consequences. You'll be cautious about how they are going to mine. But once they are mined, they will mine one step and then they'll use the loose to just cover the other one before they move on. But because they thought that they could do whatever they want and they move on, all of those people who mine here, they have reclaimed all those over 200 to 300 acres of land are miners. They are not different from those people. And there were even other places that were having high grade in terms of the gold, the quantity, that they even refuse to mine. They refuse to reclaim, all because of supervision. So it's the easiest way, it's the cheapest way for government and then for the mine.
According to the DCE, the community made sure that nobody, I repeat, nobody, no matter who you are, gets an inch close to the rivers in the community. So as the team and myself went to cover this documentary, we actually went to see the rivers that were on the land, and every one of them was as clean as it should be. That was remarkable. That was beautiful. We were able to fetch it and it was clean. According to the chief, the community made sure that each individual that is mining in the community paid something into the community's coffers in order to reclaim the community's land if the miner refuses or fails to do so. And according to him, he and the community made sure that every miner is registered, every land or concession that is being mined on is identified with the miner. So no matter where you are as a miner, you are being monitored. After about 4 to 5 hours walk on the land, covering about 800 acres of land, we discovered that almost 70% of the land is in the process of reclamation. Here is a proof of the process of reclamation.
So many acres of yebeko even between yene Mosias 4 years so but yet to be nyeni na to go. It is okoko who some part baby. That's a reclamation course. So that's a who have then you are having a problem. Also people can say na black in a juma. Aha kwame asuma aha we na ye juma nti kwame nom ne nkrofo me juma nyina because of say omunim say already community and some in be omu adwuma nya omakata so nyina fefefe eti we say we are say abukari and e adwuma asa nyina ye so until you sign the agreement with the community enuti we ye buy ni be say there be as a reclamation no ye brabeye eti ye buy mo hwa ya nanti be almost ensase de kan fa so about over 200 acres of land. It take time. Eti the assurance is that with some months or years to come it will be better.
We, in the process, also discovered that pillars have been erected along the river bodies. 10 meters away from the river bodies were a long line of pillars from the communities to the mountain tops.
Yeah, so you can see right from the other side, you can see pillars have been erected at the bank of the river. This is part of the measures are put in place in order to prevent the miners get close to the river. At least you can mine close to it a bit, but to touch the river is something that I was not ready to allow at all.
We also chanced on some miners on the land in the community that was in the process of their mining activities, and this is what they had to say.
Because in Shono, I have young women. The miners, yeah, the power. The said that they are being to because they want to go. But they are only good because who be ever been to Indiana? That's a baby from America.
According to him, the community gave them strict rules to follow, and they are also ensuring that they stick to what the community told them to do. Nothing more, nothing less. Taking interest in the activities of the miners themselves monitoring, and giving them policy guidelines to follow is the best way to ensure that our lands and water bodies are safe. So we should not just leave the lands to them to mine, but take key interest in where they are at the particular moment and what they are actually doing, making sure they don't go overboard. All chiefs, all community leaders, all opinion leaders, all government officials who want to battle the issue of mining and its destruction can follow these steps, and as it is working for him, he believes it is working. And surely, for what we saw, we also believe that his approach is the best. Asaman Tamfoy and certain other communities, as a result of this approach or policy, have been able to raise a sum of not less than 300,000 Ghana cedis within few months of the policy's introduction.
Social responsibility is a major problem. When I became a DCE, I realized that some miners, they could just try to tell the community, okay, I want to build a school for you. They could tell them like 10 years without building the school. So when I came, within 1 month, I made all this analysis, and those who were claiming to be the concessionaires of those areas, I called all of them and I told them that now this is a new approach I've just come. We are going to pay percentage of the revenue, the production that your profit that you are getting into the community account. So the chiefs and then the leader, the chiefs and elders give us a representative, and then the groups and the other opinion leaders and they open accounts. For instance, the concessionaire is 60% of all his production every week into the account of Nanapa. And within just about 2 months, they are able to get over 300,000. So this is a small community. Because I went there and I realized that there was no even a toilet facility for them. And people have mined there for about 2 years before we came to power. 2 years. And there was nothing to show that this is what I've done for them. They also intend to build clinic for them, so they don't pay their money to them, let the community plan. So it has become a policy, and so I've started even here. I started as a matter of I drafted the policy for them, and within about 2 months, we were having almost about 3 million Ghana cedis in the community account. So we didn't need actually to go to any miner that you need this facility or this amenity. No. So we believe that that's also the best approach that we could talk about the corporate social responsibility.
Witnessing this remarkable job done by the community of Asaman Tamfoy has actually encouraged me to have hope that there is a bright future for Ghana if all of us are able to take this approach. Here ends this documentary. My name is Augustine J, and I cover for the District Chief Executive Honorable Ernest Owusu Intim. Till we meet again, God bless you. Yo,